White. I'm from Wilder, Vermont, which is right next to White Junction. So if you've ever taken a Greyhound bus, you've stopped in my town. Before I begin, I just wanted to tell you all a very important secret that I've been hiding. And it's that I'm madly in love with the state of Vermont. But unfortunately, this love, I've taken everything and given very little back. And with that being said, I think that's a decision that you ultimately, as a commission, have to come to as well. Whether or not a minor sacrifice when it comes to maybe not having the best view of a mountain, or maybe having a drive that's a little bit longer, we have to look at the difference between the long term and the sacrifice we have to make as a state and the sacrifices that we're making as a nation. So what I really want to do first is thank you very much for holding this. This is very important, and I think this is actually an excellent example of where we can have a democratic process here on either a local or state level that does represent everyone. And I think we can do the same things when it comes to siting in the future. But I also want to talk about the perspective long term. And what we see is if, as a commission, you make the decision to make siting wind power so incredibly difficult, that means we're going to lose the years of momentum we've built up around these projects. We've built up around things that actually allowed us to move forward with LOA wind. So this doesn't mean that we're going to lose something like 3 or 4 years, because let's be honest, it takes upwards of 7 years to get these things off the ground. We're going to be losing things like 10 to 15 years of available wind power access. And that amount of time not only hurts us in that moment, but it hurts us in the long term. And not just here in Vermont, because I'd like to basically echo what Bernie Sanders said, and that we stand as a beacon here in Vermont to the rest of the nation. If progressive Vermont doesn't support wind power, how can a state like Michigan or Kansas move forward with projects like that? So I also want to harp on what we heard from Carrie earlier, and that's that the alternatives here are far worse than what we actually can move forward with wind power. And that's things like, and I've taken a geology class, so this is going to be nice and fun, things like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide. It creates things like acid rain. And in fact, the same types of environmental concerns we've heard today about cutting down trees or hurting the environment, acid rain that has been created by these processes of pollution have led to half of the red spruces here in Vermont's ridgelines to be destroyed. So we have to weigh the environmental impacts that this wind power will have, but then look at the long-term effects it will have for generations and generations to come. And that's why I ask you, as a lover of Vermont and a fellow citizen, to truly consider what your decision means to the rest of the state and the nation. Thanks.